So we are seeing warning signs popping up all over the place regarding real estate, regarding cars, banking, the entire economy. Everybody is saying there's a warning. There's a crash coming. That's what we've been hearing. Well, I want to give you another update, and I want to explain why it is officially too late, what this means, and also what we are going to see moving forward. Because what I can tell you is things are changing, times are changing. And this new economy that we're kind of falling into is not the same economy we've seen over the past couple of years. Now, here's what you need to know. First off, the Treasury has revealed that back in December of 2022, about 6 months ago, there were about 700 banks that reported unrealized losses of more than 50% of their capital. That was back in the fourth quarter of 2022. That means we have seen one quarter of 2023, and now we're in the second quarter. Here's the problem. What we are now facing and what experts are now telling us is that this previous report from 6 months ago, back in December 2022, this is a major problem because we are just now hearing about it. We're about 6 months late. Now, obviously, this is a major concern if 700 plus banks are reporting unrealized losses of more than 50% of their capital. And again, the reason why this is a huge concern is obviously because banks could collapse. The other reason why this is a massive concern is because the Treasury only let us know about this major issue this past week, which means we're 6 months behind, and they've kept it a secret. That is why it is officially too late, because we cannot now go and look at the Treasury, look at the Federal Reserve, look at our officials in government, and we can't be like, they're telling us the truth. They have our back. They will let us know when there's a problem. Remember when COVID hit? Remember when we had this big old pandemic that was over in China, wasn't here in the US, nothing to worry about? Well, then come to find out, obviously years later, that government officials knew it was a massive problem. But they didn't want to do anything, not because they were worried about the American people. They were worried about the amount of masks that we had. We didn't have enough masks. We had to produce more masks. And until we could produce more masks, they didn't want to let us know. That's what we started to discover. That's what we found out. So again, and do me a favor, go ahead, hit that like button. If you wish the government would just tell us the truth, let us know what's happening so that we can prepare ahead of time. Because I guarantee if we knew 6 months ago that we were going to see a banking crisis, we were going to see a massive issue, and now the FDIC has to come in and try to bail out some of these banks, and now the worry is, what if FDIC just can't do it to all the banks? What happens then? This is why we need time to prepare. But here's my other question. If the Treasury kept this a secret, didn't want us to know, well, why? Were they worried we were going to be scared? Worried we were just going to go to the banks and start pulling money out? Possibly. But if they kept that a secret, what else are they keeping a secret? Could we see the official X date for the U.S. default? Could this be different than June 1st? Again, that's in 23 days? Could it be a different day? And I talked about this just the other day and said that there's multiple people that are questioning what the Treasury has told us, and that the official X date, even though Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says it could be as soon as June 1st, it could also be as late as September. But are they only telling us as soon as June 1st because they want government officials like Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Biden to start negotiating, which they're going to do tomorrow? Possibly. But again, why keep this a secret? Why not just tell us? Here's another one. Are they keeping the commercial mortgage-backed securities issue? Are they keeping this a secret because of the true impact this would have on our economy? This is one of the things I brought up multiple times over the past month, is now we're starting to see it unfold. Now we're starting to see, some big companies go under. They're defaulting on their loans. on their commercial mortgages because they can't keep up with them either. Why? Well, for one, they can't refinance them. Number two, there's nobody in their buildings. Nobody in the malls. Nobody in the office buildings. Nobody in those warehouses. They're empty. And if you don't think they are, just look at a big company like Amazon. Amazon was trying to sublease like 10 million square feet back in December of 2022 because they knew what was coming. They saw it. Now just listen to this. I want to read you this email that I received from a bank manager here in Washington State. This person says, and I quote, "I know you've been warning people about the possibility of a bank collapse, but I have an issue with your warning. You keep saying there's a chance we see banks collapse, but there's not just a chance, this is coming. I manage KeyBank here in Washington. I'm not going to say the city. We are currently experiencing something never seen before. The great financial crisis doesn't even compare to what we are seeing today. Businesses won't deposit their money. Depositors continue to pull small amounts of money out every single week, and our outflows have consistently been higher than our inflows. My boss says that the media has blown this all out of proportion, but in my opinion, you guys are not talking about it enough. This is a very real threat, and everybody needs to heed this warning." Now, here's the reason why I wanted to mention this. Because we see from certain people, and again, it depends on your position. So if you are a CEO of a bank, you're a CEO or a manager of a Fortune 500 company, right? Chances are you're going to tell everybody that your company's doing great. You're fine. If you're a CEO like Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, you'd come out and say that the banking industry is very, very sound. You're not going to tell people that get your money out of the bank. Protect yourself. Buy gold. Buy silver. Okay? And pay off debt. You're not going to tell people that because what does that do for you? What does that do for your interest? You have a little bit of a conflict of interest here. This person is simply saying something different, that they manage a bank. Businesses are not depositing their money. Depositors continue to pull small amounts of money out each week. Outflows have consistently been higher than inflows. If banks are losing money, right? Because again, here's how a bank works. The person, let's say you go to the bank, you deposit $10,000. The problem is then the bank takes that $10,000 and they try to loan it out. Let's say somebody needs $9,000 to go and get a car. So they loan out the $9,000. That person then makes payments, right? Guess what? So you paid the bank $10,000. The bank technically gives you an IOU because the bank says, "Thank you, that is my money, I'm going to go and lend it out." They go and lend it out. The person takes that $9,500, buys a car. Person that they give that money to then takes that money and maybe they go to the bank. Now that bank, or even the same bank, gets another $9,500. Then the bank takes that $9,500 and again they try to lend it out. And maybe they lend this money out to somebody and they get $8,000, right? Here's the problem. The bank thinks you have $10,000. This other person has $9,500. That's $19,500 in deposits. And then they lend out, what was it, $9,500 plus another $8,000? But it's the same $10,000. That's the real issue. It's the same amount of money. We have a major problem here with our banking system. And again, I know a lot of people bring this up, that why would Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen say the banking system is stable, it's perfectly fine, if it isn't? Think about it. The reason why someone would say this is because if they don't, you go to the bank, you pull all your money out. I got $50,000 in Bank A, I need it today. Okay? You got another $25,000 at Bank B, pulling it out. You go to Bank of America and it's like, oh, I need my $6,200. Give it to me today. You go pull it out. And now you're sitting on all this cash. Nothing's in the bank. Banks are going to go under. Banks will collapse. Here's what I want to say. The Fed, the Treasury, and all government officials, they have been too slow to warn us. And not just about this issue, on multiple different occasions. So because of this, we shouldn't feel confident that they're going to come out and tell us beforehand. This is why I'm giving you this warning and telling you it's officially too late. Because when you see the news in the media, when you see the Treasury Secretary come out and say, this is the warning, this is going to be an economic crisis. When you see the president come out and say that. When you see the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell come out and say, we're in a recession. By the time they say that, it's too late. You can't act. Okay? You can't plan. You're just reacting to the news. By that time, it's too late. So again, this is my warning to you. Be prepared. Save money. Okay? Get another job. Put money aside. Just be ready, because we never know. But at some point, it's going to all come crashing down.